Good morning. I am Councillor Diane Donaldson and I'll be chairing this hearing of Subcommittee A of the Licensing and Public Protection Committee of Birmingham City Council. Before we start, can you all please mute your microphones for the moment in order to improve the sound quality whilst I outline the procedure. Can you also please turn off your cameras with the exception of committee members, unless you are the person speaking, in order to reduce bandwidth. Committee members will have their cameras switched on throughout the hearing. Would everyone attending today's meeting please put their mobile phones on silent and ensure they are situated in a room or environment which is free from distractions or any unnecessary noise emanating from radios, TVs, etc. Thank you for that. I'm speaking slowly and clearly so everyone can follow. It is vitally important, for what I hope are obvious reasons, that those attending the meeting and making representations are able to hear me and members of my subcommittee and officers. Any distractions brought to my attention could result in the meeting being suspended temporarily or to another date and time under the regulations for these types of meetings. I also confirm that this is a public meeting and therefore being live streamed on the City Council's website in order that the general public can view it. I advise this meeting will be webcast for live or subsequent broadcast via the Council's meeting YouTube site, details of which can be found on the agenda. And that members of the press public may record and take photographs, except where there are confidential or exempt items. Members are reminded they must declare all relevant pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests arising from any business to be discussed at this meeting. If a disclosable pecuniary interest is declared, a member must not speak or take part on that agenda item. Any declarations will be recorded in the minutes of the meeting. Can we note the public part of the minutes of the meeting held on September the 22nd, on the 5th of September 2022? Those agreed?
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you. Can I welcome you to this hearing for the summary review in respect of the licence for Sellyacre News 1049 to 1051 Pershaw Road, Sturchley, Birmingham B30 2YH. I'll begin with some introductions. My name is Councillor Diane Donaldson and I'm chairing this meeting of the Licensing Subcommittee. With me, the other members of Subcommittee, Councillors Mary Locke and Simon Morrell.
Morning, Chair.
Good morning. Also present in the meeting are the following officers. Licensing Officer David Kennedy.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning. Committee Manager Katie Townsend.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning. And Committee Lawyer Joanne Swampillai.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning. Could I ask all parties to identify themselves, please? Firstly, the applicant, Chris Jones, West Midlands Police.
Good morning, Chair, Councillors. Chris Jones, West Midlands Police Licensing Officer.
Good morning. And next person's making representations, Paul Elson, Trading Standards.
Good morning, Chair. It's Paul Elson, representing Birmingham Trading Standards Department, City Directorate.
Good morning. And next, the licence holder and their representative, Mohammed Shahzad.
Good morning, Mohammed Shahzad.
Good morning. Could I ask if any persons making representations wishes to withdraw their representations at this stage of the hearing?
Thank you, Chair. It's no from West Midlands Police.
Thank you.
And that's a no from Trading Standards as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll assume that all parties have read and understood the Licensing Committee procedural rules sent out with the notice of today's hearing. Please note that given the nature of today's proceedings, I may, at my discretion, amend the procedural rules to reflect that this meeting is taking place online, but wish to assure you that any such amendments will not impact on the parties' right to a fair hearing. We'll be using the chat function in Microsoft Teams to communicate. One of the icons on your toolbar is a speech bubble. Click the speech bubble to go into chat. If you do not have access to the chat function for any reason, please use the raise a hand function to indicate you wish to speak. That button is usually fourth from the right on the toolbar. You can also, of course, indicate verbally that you wish to speak at the appropriate time. Can you all confirm that you have access to the chat facility by typing your own name now? Officers will also type their job title. The meeting will not proceed until you all have done so.
Chair, I haven't got Paul Elson Trading Standards. I haven't got access to the chat function, but I'll raise my hand as normal if I'm required to say something.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
I think that's everyone, Katie, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. Please keep this chat column open for the entire duration of the meeting in order that everyone can follow the messages being posted in the chat. If any participant has dialed in on an audio telephone rather than Microsoft Teams, please speak now to confirm that you can hear and be heard. Don't believe we have anyone dialing in this morning.
No, Chair.
Thank you. With the exception of the subcommittee members, please keep your camera off unless you're the person speaking. If there are any problems with bandwidth which cause difficulties with the sound, I may, in my discretion, ask everyone to turn the cameras off in order that the meeting can proceed with everyone able to hear and be heard. Does anyone wish to make any preliminary points at this stage? If so, please indicate that you wish to raise a point by typing speak into the chat function or using the raise a hand function now or verbally, if that's the case. Christopher Jones.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the vast majority of evidence that West Midlands Police will be relying on, I'm asking to be heard in private, and that includes the rest of the responsible authorities, where the only people being present are yourselves, the council representative, the premises licence holder. As you're aware, councillors, this is quite a sensitive offence. The criminal investigation is ongoing, and during my evidence, I will be identifying the offender to explain their relationship with the business and current official premises licence holder. The first bit of the evidence can be heard in public. Then after that, I shall be asking for the rest to be heard in private.
I'm okay with that, Chair.
Thank you. Is everyone okay with that?
I agree myself too, Chair.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, then we will move over to private session. And once the decision has been made, we'll come back into the main meeting.
Chair, I think they said they were going to do a presentation first publicly and then move privately. Did I misunderstand that?
Yes, that's right, Councillor Morale. Also,
Okay, we'll do the presentation first.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, I'll briefly outline the procedure which we're following at today's hearing. Firstly, the licensing officer, David Kennedy, will present the report. Then the applicant will be asked to present their case. We're asking this to be kept to approximately 20 minutes. Then those making representations will be invited to make their case. Again, we're asking if this could be kept to approximately 20 minutes. Then the licensing holder and their representative will be invited to make their case. Again, approximately 20 minutes will be allowed for this part of the hearing. I can ask all parties to speak as slowly and clearly as they possibly can, because the officers are taking notes by hand for the minutes. The meeting is also being live streamed on the City Council's website. If at any time somebody else's turn to speak, please mute your microphone and use the chat function to communicate if necessary. Please note that members of the subcommittee will be able to ask questions at any stage, but will try to do so at the conclusion of each presentation. Cross-examination by the applicant and those making representations will not be permitted unless the members consider it appropriate. Where there are questions are raised by members of the subcommittee or those present, they must signify this by using the chat facility set out on the right-hand side of the screen you're viewing the meeting on. The meeting manager will alert me if I do not notice messages in the chat. I will determine verbally or in writing on the chat facility the order in which questions are dealt with. So at any point in the meeting, if you wish to speak, please type the word speak into the chat function, and the meeting manager will ensure that we come to you at the appropriate moment. If at any point you cannot hear or having problems with your internet connection, please use the chat facility to alert the meeting manager. The chair will then ask the person speaking to repeat what they have just said. It is therefore important that you use the chat function as soon as you're unable to hear the person speaking. It may well be that the problem is caused by people still having their microphones or cameras on, which creates interference. So I will remind everyone to please mute your microphones and turn off your cameras when you're the person speaking. Could I point out that occasionally it may be necessary for the subcommittee to take legal advice. At my discretion, I ask all parties to wait in this meeting whilst members and the relevant officers withdraw to take legal advice using a separate meeting within Microsoft Teams. We will then return to this meeting and continue. Please note that if at any time the live stream being broadcast on the City Council's website fails, I will ask you to mute your microphone and cameras and to stop speaking until the live stream is restored. If at any time this meeting goes into private session, the meeting manager will pause the live stream. Once the private part of the meeting is over, I will ask the meeting manager to confirm that the live stream has resumed before we continue. At the conclusion of the hearing, I will invite all parties to make a brief closing submission. Can I stress that no decision will be taken until all the evidence has been heard? At the decision-making stage, the members and all relevant officers will withdraw from the meeting in order to determine the decision. They will go into a separate Microsoft Teams meeting. In the event that members need to clarify any point, they will be telephoned by the meeting manager. I hope that's reasonably straightforward. So with that, can I ask the licensing officer, David Kennedy, to present the report, please, as slowly and clearly as you possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. On the 20th of September, Chief Superintendent Richard North applied for a review under Section 53A of the Licensing Act 2003, as amended by the Violent Crime Reduction Act 2006, of the premises licence granted to Mohammed Shahzad in respect of Sellier Canoes, 1049 to 1051 Pershore Road, Sturchley, Birmingham, B32YH. The application was accompanied by the required certificate, which are attached to Appendix 1. Within 48 hours of receipt of an application made under Section 53A, the licensing authorities are required to consider whether it is appropriate to take interim steps pending determination of the review of the premises licence. Licensing Subcommittee C met on the 21st of September to consider whether to take any interim steps and resolve that the designated premises supervisor and the sale of alcohol be removed from the scope of the licence, and that the premises licence be suspended pending today's review of the licence. A copy of that decision is attached to Appendix 2. The review application was advertised in accordance with the regulations. A representation has been received from Trading Standards, which is attached to Appendix 3. Representations have also been received from other persons, which are attached to Appendices 4 to 6. A copy of the current premises licence is attached to Appendix 7, and site location plans are attached to Appendix 8. West Midlands Police have submitted a supporting evidence bundle, which is published at pages 39 to 65 of the agenda pack. When carrying out its licensing functions, a licensing authority must have regard to Birmingham City Council's statement of licensing policy and the guidance issued by the Secretary of State under Section 182 of the Act. The licensing authority's functions under the Act are to promote the four licensing objectives. The options available to the committee today are to modify the conditions of licence, exclude a licensable activity from the scope of the licence, remove the designated premises supervisor, suspend the licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, revoke the licence, or take no action. In addition, the subcommittee will need to decide what action, if any, should be taken regarding the interim steps imposed on the 21st of September. Thank you, Chair.
You're on mute, Chair.
You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, David. So with that, I'll move on to the applicant, West Midlands Police. Would you like to make your representation now, please, Chris Jones?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, councillors. Councillors, I think before we start at this point, I think it's important to mention that this premises licence has changed hands on a number of occasions between the current premises licence as officially listed on the licence, Mohammed Shahzad, and the previous premises licence, Chains Hussein. This has changed hands a number of times between 2012, whether it be officially or unofficially, as you'll see in the evidence coming up later. Councillors, the circumstances of the incident which led to the expedited review are that a child customer was taken into the rear of the premises, and this is believed to be a stockroom type area, a staff only area, by a member of staff when the shop was open and trading. The offence takes place in this area after the adult male offered the child a cigarette and made sexual advances, comments towards him. The reported offence took place on the 13th of September of this year at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Following that, on the day after, the 14th of September, at around 7:30 p.m, the mother of the victim, the child, reported to West Midlands Police that her son had been sexually assaulted at Sellier Canoes. Officers attended the home address and took a detailed initial account from the child, who is 12 years old. The account that the victim relived took the officers an hour and 25 minutes to complete, with the child having to go into some details of what happened to him at the premises to the officers.
Can I just interrupt a moment? I just want to clarify when we should move into private session on this.
Yep, councillors, I've got one more paragraph and then I'm going to ask to go into private, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, this has led to an ongoing investigation which is being carried out by specialist West Midlands police officers. And at this point, I would ask that if we could go into private session, please.
Okay.
Yes.
See you there.
Chair, sorry. Can I just get confirmation of Chris Jones, who is to be excluded from the private session?
Yes, certainly. So obviously the live stream and anybody other than the committee, the council representatives, the premises licence holder and or their representative if there is one, and that's it. So realistically, from the people I know that are in the meeting at the moment, it would just be trading standards.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to set up those invitations now, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome back to Licensing Subcommittee 8, the full review hearing. Obviously, Aiken News, 1049 to 1051 Pershore Road, Sturchley, Birmingham, B32YH. We just heard the presentation from West Midlands Police, Chris Jones. So now we'll move on to the presentation from Trading Standards, Paul Elson. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Chair and the committee. It's quite a brief presentation. What I'd like to add to begin with is on the 12th of January 2022, this service received a complaint from a member of the public concerning overcharging on tobacco products. The complaint was fairly basic in nature. They were saying that they were paying £2.50 more than they usually do. That's a sort of quite common complaints that we deal with. However, what was concerning within the text of that complaint was the member of public stated that all the local alcoholics are drinking in the store like it's a bar. Now, that's quite an unusual allegation to make at all. I think I've only ever come across that once before in all the time I've been working with Trading Standards. That would indicate to me, personally, that there's a lack of control and order within the shop. And that's the first thing I'm going to go. The second thing, I can't comment on the allegations that my colleague Christopher Jones has made, or the allegations about the shop. That's not within my remit. However, I would say from a Trading Standards point of view, if any of those allegations are true, we are very seriously concerned, in fact, gravely concerned, about the ability of this licence holder to manage the actual licence of the shop. We would believe that if any of them are true, there'll be a complete collapse of any adherence to the Licensing Act and its objectives, quite apart from any lack of any moral integrity and a vast departure from the ordinary business and social standards. And that's basically my presentation. It is very brief, as I said, but I would just like to say Trading Standards would be concerned if any of these allegations are true at all, whether this person is regarding as good enough to have a licence. And that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Elson. I'll open it out to members if they'd like to ask any questions.
Nothing from me, Chair.
No questions, Chair.
Thank you, councillors. And can now the licence holder and their representative present their case now, please? Mohammed Shazad.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Shazad. I want to give a small introduction.
Mr. Shahad, would you kindly put your camera on while you're speaking, please?
Okay, is the camera on now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to give a small introduction just to give you a brief who I am and how I started the business. My name is Mohammed Shazad. I found that business in around 2005 and 6, when someone else used to be the landlord. And from there, I took over the business. I done extension work and run the business. As time was going along, the landlord who used to own that property decided to sell it onwards. That is when this new landlord, Changez, was saying, would you keep everybody's connecting with me? I have no connection. I want to clear this now, that he brought the property and then became my landlord. And while he was my landlord, I carried on the business from that time and I established in 2012 when I got my license to sell alcohol on the premises. My original license and conditions were that I run in the morning from 7:30 till 11:30 every day. But when the children were coming from school time, I don't serve alcohol. After 9 o'clock, once the children are in school, I can carry on. On holiday basis, I can run from 7:30 till 11:30, which I always did. For the last 12 years, I had no complaint, no issues whatsoever from any local residents or West Midlands Police or Council or Trading Standard. Till today, I still stand on the basis I have not even one complaint against me. And second of all, when I got tired, I took a break. That was when I was giving the shop away or closing it. That's when the landlord Changez Hussain came in. He said he wanted to take over and run the business for a few years till they can last. And when they're tired, and if they'll give me the option again if I want to run the business. And in that 2 years, from the 18 to 20, that incident happened with them people. And for the last 10 minutes, what I've been hearing, this all accusation was to do with them, but it's keep coming back to me when I wasn't even a designated or premises license holder. I had nothing to do with that 18 to 20. That was to do with Changez Hussain and his brother Zakir Hussain. Now that incident, I don't know why they connecting it to me. I have nothing to do with them. And after they got charged and whatever happened to them, I came back in 2020 when they had this problem and then transferred the license back to my name. So the license has only been transferred twice, from me to Changez Hussain, from Changez Hussain back to me in that short 2-year period. In that 12-year period, I had the license. Now, what I'm trying to say is stop connecting me with them people, because I am feeling really, really upset that I'm not related to them. I'm not friend, family, anything. I'm strictly renting the premises. They're landlord because he's brought the property. And now this accusation that's been put against me from the West Midlands Police as well, that I admit that I have nothing to do with the premises or anything, that's wrong. Because since I've come back in 2020, the premises has always been under my supervision, everything. And from then till 2022 now, we still have no accusations, no complaints, anything on my side, on my name. And this incident that just took place is just an accusation. It's not been proven guilty. And we know, after I investigated after the last meeting, face to face with the Zakir Hussain, it clearly made sense that it was someone's plan just to make an accusation. Someone was missing school or some guy into trouble, needed an excuse. Now, till this wasn't proven, I should have never been suspended from my license. But I respect what happened because it's a serious offense. And from that time, since the incident, my shop has been closed down for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I lost business. I've wiped out all the alcohol off the premises, everything. And I'm still come under bad management. I've been following all the rules and regulations till now. And even the accusation not been proven, it's still coming back to me, bad management. What did I do bad management? I got CCTV. I haven't had any complaints, accusations, anything, or bad reports, or police coming to my place, trading standard coming to my place, anything. I have no accusation on my name. The last accusation has got nothing to do with me. They keep dragging the accusation to make me feel guilty. It was under my supervision that time when I had nothing to do with that time. It wasn't even on my name. And this time, whatever happened, okay, I admit it's mine. And the officer who claimed that keeps saying that Shahzad said that he's got no responsibility whatsoever. He sold the premises to Zakir Hussain and his brother. I did not sell it to his brother. That brother name keep coming up. He's a landlord I haven't given to the landlord or Zakir Hussain. It's still on my name now, till today. And after all this aggression I've been getting, I'm just trying to defend myself with the business. I even left my job 4 weeks ago after the last meeting. I went into stress mode. I couldn't do it. This is my life. This is my children's life. My children have grown up now. They're 18, 19, 20 years old, which are going to take over now. It's their next 5-10 years because they don't want to go any further education. They've done their education, what they wanted to do. I'm not saying it for any other reason. I'm only saying this because I am paying rent. I am running it. If you have any complaints against me, or I misbehaved, or I did, and this accusations, drinking in the shop, it's never happened. If it's happened, prove it. That allegation, that kid won, okay, serious matter, till the CCTV, which I have stored in the shop, does not prove it. And I'm sure that CCTV is the only key that will prove my worker Zakir Hussein's innocence as well. Now, if he was the bad character, then why was he given DPS license? After the last incident that happened with Zakir Chingez Hussain time in 2018 and 20, the one they said what was it, cigarettes, tablets, baseball, all these things, then why was this person who was involved behind the counter after this case last year given DPS license? I only took this person on because he had the license and he came back because he wasn't the person who got charged. It was nothing. It was the license holder, Chingez Hussain, who got charged and got provoked and his license disappeared, not Zakir Hussain. So when I gave him the 5 months he was there from May 1st, he had no issues. This was and just an allegation made because that child came into the store 3 times. And in that 3 times, there was 1 or 2 times a customer came in and out. That kid could have shouted for help or anything. Nothing. It was just an allegation. Even after all this happened, the kid came back to him to ask him as a general joke, are you still fancy me? It's just comments, talking. But I think he must have been in some trouble from family or home or stress. Just made the false allegation because even
Mr.
on the 10th.
Mr. Shazad,
Yeah.
thank you. But can you not talk about the allegation because this meeting is a public meeting? We can, if you wish to go into the private session, we can.
Okay. That's what I was trying earlier, because at the end of the day, there's no other allegations against me. If there's anything against me, you can keep my license and I will surrender it straight away. Right now, the position I am, I'll be honest with you, that I'm just trying to defend my license for future reference because I need that premises is with me for the rest of my life. Till my kids give up, then it's a different story. I'm not gonna just give up something I've built over the last 12, 15 years. I have a good reputation in this area. I live just 2 roads away. You can imagine how many people I bump in every day and they ask me about this accusation. I am so happy that they cleared my name on the paper when they stick on the, the notice they put on the doors and windows, that they had nothing to do with me. It was to do with the co-worker. So I'm very happy because a lot of people ask me and I try to explain to them the situation, what happened. So they were all understanding. But what I'm trying to say is, please don't compare me with this Chingez Hussain or Zakir Hussain situation, because the last situation has got nothing to do with this today's meeting. This meeting should be only concerned on the allegation that is taken present just now in my time. I can understand that part. But I don't understand where did the lack of management come in. I leave my paper signed there. He's got DPS license he can hold. And then on top, I get accusation that I'm working night shift. I got 2 jobs. I got 2 jobs because I'm allowed to have another job. I don't have choice. I'm not allowed to have another job if I'm only allowed to stick to one. Now, I left that person in charge because he had a license. And on top, I got CCTV cameras. I got phone lines. They phone me. I can look through CCTV cameras if there's any issues. I can handle it. But I had no problem whatsoever. But these accusations are all not been proven. Anyone who proves me any of the evidence or anything given against me, I swear I will surrender my license today. I've took 4 weeks suspension. I think I've paid enough price, lost my business. I've took everything off the shelves. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm telling you this. I could have finished this at the start of the meeting. But I want you to go through all this meeting, not just to defend myself, to clear my name. And then I wanted to let you know that I have got a new person who's walked into the property since this last Friday. I've handed you over to a new Sri Lankan family from Leicester. They've contacted me for the last few weeks, and I go to them, you can have ASP, and I'll transfer the license over to you as soon as my review is finished at the meeting. Because at the moment, I don't know where I stand. And they were happy, and they've changed the signboard, they've changed everything. And I had police officers come over the last few days because I have been to the shop. I'm still helping them till we sort this out. I just want my license back so I can transfer it to new people and clear my name. That's all I want. I don't care about Zakir Hussain. I don't care about the landlord. They got nothing to do with me. I don't know why those accusations are getting built to me. I haven't done no bad, man. Show me one thing that I've done bad. And I swear you can just finish the case today. You ask any residents complaining, any police complaining, any council complaining, trading standard complaining, one thing against me, that's it. You can keep the license, I'll never speak about it again. Every time I'm just getting accused. I've been listening. Last time you did meeting without giving me notice, I was half dead sleep. Today I'm wide awake. I read papers, I understood the case. Last time I didn't even know what was the case about. I have to investigate after the meeting. Then I found out exactly what was going on. And that's why I'm fully prepared today in this meeting. And that's why I'm asking, because I just don't understand why I'm being brought into this meeting when I have no accusation on my name. And the accusation that's built, they're not even been proven. And you all are proving me like guilty. I've done some murder or something, and you got all the evidence. Show me the evidence, show me proof I'm wrong, and that's fine. You just take the license. I don't mind. But right now, I want you to reconsider my license, put me back into business, and let me deal with what I have to deal with. I will do some changes if I have to, and I will pass it over to the new people who have just walked in last week, Friday. They came in, they had a look, we had a discussion. We're waiting on just this decision today that if the license will be not go any further, and then maybe I can reconsider and do the proper paperwork and this time change it onto their names. Because these people look genuine. They come from Leicester. They're not from Birmingham. They have got few more stores out and about. So if you please reconsider and have careful think and decide to give me this chance and opportunity to move on, I appreciate it. Because today and tomorrow this license is important. If they don't take over, I can carry on. My kids can carry on. But otherwise, I will just give it to them. So you have choice now. You can either give my license or destroy me. I've lost already too much. I've lost all the alcohol, all the stock I had. Everything is gone. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe I have to sell it or sit in the garden and do parties in my house. I don't know. So please reconsider carefully. I am not responsible for any of these actions.
Okay. And is that all of the submissions the representative wishes to make?
That's all I have for now to say. All I want to say is if there's any questions you want to ask, you're welcome to ask me.
We'll move on to questions then from the members. Members?
Yeah, excuse me, but, before we start the questions, could we have a short adjournment, please?
Certainly. Okay, we're going to adjourn for a few minutes and then we'll resume back this meeting. Can we just pause the live stream, please, until we re-enter the meeting? resume the live stream, can and then we continue. Thank you and welcome back to licensing committee sub A, the full review for the Selly Acre News. We will now continue the meeting, and I will ask members if they would like to ask any questions to the licence holder, Mohammed Shazet.
Yes, Chair.
Councillor Morale, yes.
Thank you, Chair. So my questions to Mohammed, I've got a few of them. The main one here that you've been trying to defend is that you have full supervision over this premises. And yet when we first met previously in another hearing, you said you didn't even know what this case was about. You also said that you had multiple other jobs. So I'd like you to explain to the committee what those other jobs are, what responsibilities you have in them and what hours you work, and how you can say that you have full supervision over the premises if you were doing these other jobs. The second question I have for you is you said that these were just allegations and therefore you should still have your licence. Do you think it would be reasonable for Birmingham City Council to allow any premises in Birmingham to continue trading with such a serious sexual assault? Would you think that was permissible? And my other question is, you mentioned that the victim, and it's important that we don't name the victim. He's a 12-year-old boy, was coming in and making further advances. Do you understand the definition of a child? Like, it doesn't matter what a child does; they are still a child. And I want to know if you understand the seriousness of that. They are still a child, and that leads me into my final point that I want to ask you. Even though these are allegations, do you have any remorse or empathy for the family that have made said allegations? Because at the moment, given your representation, it feels like you're just holding your hands up and saying, I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about this. Yet your original premise was that you have full supervision over these premises. Can you not see how that's a bit of a contradiction? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor.
You like me to speak?
Yes, Mr. Shad, if you'd like to come back on those questions, please.
Okay, he's asked me too many questions, half I can't remember, but I tried to get along with them. I'm not saying it's not a serious case. I'm only saying it's a case that's not been proven. And second, I have 3 children. I do care for children. I have school kids next door. They're young girls, Sally Park Girls School. So other than that, I don't know what else I can say. I do care about the community and children and everything going around. Now, there was some issues. I don't advertise alcohol inside the shop or outside. Okay, I sell alcohol, but I don't advertise. I have no stickers, no names, no labels, no signboards, because I do respect. I'm not a greedy person or wants to make so much money. I just want to live day to day. pay bills, feed my kids. That's it. Bring them up. And I have done. My kids have come out all right. That's why they're next step up for this business. Otherwise, I would not carry on. I would just pack it and say, look, son, go and find a job in somewhere else. And regarding my job, the jobs I took on is because I wanted a break from where I was working and cover up some bills. Because of coronavirus, lots of losses being made, bills going up, everything going up. And I took a break because I was breaking down. And like I said, I have CCTVs, I have phone lines, and I have mobiles. I can watch what's happening. And my shifts did not occur around opening hours. They occurred after opening hours, 7 in the night to 7 in the morning. So I was only away for that 3-4 hours because the shop, they've been closing at 9 o'clock, not 11, 12 o'clock when my license is 24 hours. If I wanted to abuse the license, I would open the shop 24 hours. I don't do 24 hours. They only open the shop in the morning from 7:30 till around 9 o'clock. I have been doing my job properly and making sure. And about them drunken, someone trading standard said, those drunkens I can't avoid. If it wasn't my shop, they'd be somewhere else. It's to do with these HMO houses. It's to do with the rented houses. It's got nothing to do with me. There's off license down the road. There's off license up the road. There's co-op down the road. There's another shop. There's about 10 off license. It's just not mine. I'm not asking them to come to me and sit outside my shop. And I'm not the one who built the park across the road or the bus stop so with the benches so they can sit down. So still, it's all false accusations coming back to me. I have nothing to do with these. Customers come in and out. It's not my concern. If anything happens on my premises, it's my concern. Off premises, not my concern. That is the police job or the council or community job to deal with it. I'm not preventing it. So if there's any other questions, you're welcome to ask, because I can't remember all the questions you asked now.
Thank you, Mr. Shahad. Councillor Morale, does that answer all of your questions?
Just one point. It actually is part of the licensing objectives, actually, that you need to care for the welfare of the community outside of the premises, and also not everybody that lives in a HMO. I think you're probably referring to exempt accommodation, but I think you answered the questions. The core questions was about your other jobs, and you didn't define what those jobs were. You said about the working hours. Can you just clarify what are your other jobs alongside the license, being a license holder of this premises?
Okay, my other job was to do with SIA security badge. I took that on because when I got my license for this shop 24 hours, they needed a security officer. And I always did my paperwork, first aid, health and safety, business management, license for the premise, SIA license for the premises to protect myself. And now I'm using that license outside with the HS2 since May, working on the railway tracks, looking after the cabins and JCB trucks on an open field in Tamworth. My other job is relating OCS, which I do on and off when I want to. It's like Uber taxis. You want to do a job, do it. You don't want to do it, don't do it. It's an agency. That one I just do for fun and laugh because I'm an entertaining person. I like going to Opportunity World, Resort World, NSA when the shows are on. And I just do 6 hours there just to keep myself happy. And that started same time as well. I had 2 jobs both same time, but my main job was HS2, and the other job I had was OCS, was on and off, like once a month, twice a month. But main one was HS2, which now I don't have none of them because regarding to my situation. So I'm back to job center now, universal credit.
Thank
Till
you,
I
Mr.
sort it
Shahad.
out. Any more
Yes.
questions? You're welcome.
Councillor Morale, is that covered?
No, that's fine. Thank you, Chair. No more questions.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Mr. Shahad. Right. Then move on, and we will now have closing
Chair.
submissions.
Councillor Locke, questions.
Oh, Councillor Locke. Sorry.
I've got a question. There's one question that Councillor Morale, because he did ask a number and that you didn't answer, whether you have any empathy for the, I know we can't mention names or anything, but whether you have any empathy at all for the family and the because of the allegations that were made. I know it's an ongoing case, but have you any empathy at all?
I have all my sympathy and tolerance to the family, and I hope if it's true, the person gets justice. But other than that, I can't say anything. I don't know the family. I don't know anything. But I do feel it because I have children too, and I have respect for it. And I know it's a serious case.
Okay,
And
thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Locke, and thank you, Mr. Shahad, for that. Right, so we'll move on to the closing submissions now. Now, do those making representations wish to make a closing submission? I'll start with Paul Alson from Trading Standards.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'll just make a brief closing submission. When I appear in front of these committees before, there's always one thing that I reiterate, and that is that the licence is a privilege, not a right. Okay, and with that privilege, there comes certain actions and certain prerequisites that the person must do to ensure the premises operates correctly. Now, whether these allegations are true or not, I can't discuss that. But what I would say, in 32 years of doing this job, I've never come across this type of allegation. And to me, it would indicate that there is something seriously wrong at these premises for an allegation like this to be made. As regards allegations of the other shops, you mentioned the Co-op and a few other shops around there in the district. We haven't had any complaints about them as far as I know. So I'm not quite sure what it's actually saying. The allegation that we got from the visual complaint back on the 12th of January was that they were drinking in the store like a bar. It never mentioned any of the premises. It only mentioned his premises. So I can't understand why he's trying to disperse that guilt to other people because only his premises was mentioned. But I would reiterate that we are concerned about these allegations. They're of very, very serious nature, and I've never come across these allegations before in all the years I've been working for Trading Standards. It would indicate that there is serious problems at that shop to me, and that's the end of my submission.
And what action would you like the committee to take?
I think the actual licence should be removed. That's what I believe.
Thank you.
Because I can't see how it can be sustained once this allegation has been made.
Thank you, Mr. Alson. I know that David Kennedy's raised his hand. Can I just bring in David?
Thank you, Chair. Can all parties, as part of their summing up, also state not only what the substantive action they're seeking, but what should happen to the interim steps measures that were imposed on the 21st of September, which was suspending the licence, removing the DPS, and removing alcohol from the scope of the licence. Those were imposed on the 21st of September. As part of the deliberations, the committee will have to decide whether those are maintained or modified in some way, and therefore if all parties, as part of their summing up, can state what their opinion should be on those matters. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, David. Mr. Alson, is there anything else that you'd like to add to that?
No, in regard to what the officer just said, I believe all those should be upheld. I can't see why they shouldn't be upheld in the nature of the allegation that's been made and the action that was taken to remove alcohol and the licence from these premises. I think they should be upheld.
Thank you, Mr. Alson. Thank you. Now, does the applicant, West Midlands Police, wish to make a closing submission?
Yes, please, Chair. I'd just like to thank Councillor Morell to start with. He picked up on several points that I intended to bring up. Councillors, I will bring up the point of Mr. Shahad's full supervision of the premises when this offence took place. I have in front of me the committee decision notice from the meeting on the 21st of December, and September, my apologies, and I'd just like to read you the paragraph from there. The subcommittee then heard from Mr. Shahzad. He said that he had had the shop since around 2005 or 2006. He accepted that he had passed control of the premises to other, and that one of them had been a person named was not permitted to have any involvement. He said he had not met the second person. He had handed the control to these persons in May 2022, which is that May, I believe, is when he said he started one of the other jobs. The plan had been that they would see if they wished to formally take on the premises in their own name. So the day-to-day control of the premises is still a big question in the minds of West Midlands Police. Councillors, West Midlands Police have no confidence in the management of this premises, whether it be Mohammed on the current licence or Chains, who was allegedly in control on the day of the offence, although not named on the licence, to promote the licensing objectives or having the desire to do so. Councillors, in Mohammed's evidence, he seemed to blame everybody other than himself for the failings and what has been happening at the premises recently. The fact that we have no confidence in the management of the premises is evidenced by that Chains was the official premises licence holder when the committee revoked his licence back in 2020, and only 2 years later he's again said to be in charge of the same licensed premises by the person named on the current licence, in complete disregard to the licensing committee decision, the Licensing Act and the licensing objectives and premises licensing conditions. He's also still showing the same poor or lack of management as detailed when the premises was revoked, which in turn shows a complete lack of management and regard for the Licensing Act and objectives by the current named premises licence holder, Mohammed. West Midlands Police are concerned that the premises transferred to Mohammed from Chains back in 2020 was nothing but a paperwork exercise just to frustrate the Licensing Act and get around the licensing committee decision. Mohammed is the current official premises licence holder and last DPS, but immediately stated to officers he had no control of the business, that Chains and the offender ran and owned it. By allowing Chains to have part of the premises operation, Mohammed was breaching his own premises licence, and by acknowledging his own lack of management of the premises, has to take some responsibility of how this sexual assault could have happened within these premises. West Midlands Police would request that this premises licence is revoked by the committee, and that the interim steps, the removal of the DPS, the removal of the sale of alcohol from the licence, and the licence being suspended, be maintained. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you. And finally, there's the opportunity for the licence holder to make their closing submission. So with that, Mohammed Shahzad, would you like to make your closing submission?
Yeah, I'd just like to say to the officer that all this is going on. I feel like that I'm the only one who's being targeted when I'm not involved. I am holding my responsibilities, but I'm just trying to say, if I'm not guilty, I can't accept it. But I haven't really done anything off the books. I have done everything. If there's anything against my name, then, or I've done anything, then I don't mind. But all this is going back in circles, and they keep bringing up that I had no control of the shop, I had no management. But if I had no control, no management, how did I last this last 12 years? And why are they keep saying is this is just a paperwork? This was not paperwork. When I gave the premises to Chinggez Hussain in 2018, for 2 years they had it. They could have had that for 5 years. Because they had that incident, that time they surrendered the license, and then that's when I came back. I just took the business back over, and since then it's been back there. I haven't changed over 10-15 hands. It's only been involved with me to Chinggez Hussain to me myself, and that's it. It's just here, and from now onwards here it's gonna go to the right people which you're supposed to go. But after this allegation, it's off the book. Now if this paperwork had been done, I would not have been in this meeting today. Maybe in another month, the paper would have been transferred. I wouldn't had no issue today with this situation. I admit, but I couldn't just give someone handover and everything and say that I'm not supervising it. I have been in the shop premises, everything still, even though this incident happened. It's not that I have nothing to do with the shop. I do have things to do with the shop. So I always want to say is please give me this final chance to correct myself. If I don't do it myself, I will put it in the right hands and do it. It's easier for me now than long run. I am not asking for nothing else. At the moment, I can only see is everything is just attacking me, coming back to me. I just don't know what to say because I haven't done nothing. I apologize. If they want me to give them a sorry letter, I am happy to do whatever they want. If they want to change the condition, I am happy. You want to suspend it for more investigation, I'm happy. If you want to wait till the outcome of the worker, which incident took place, has come out, that's fine. Now, if tomorrow everything comes out negative and not positive, where do I stand? I've lost everything. I've lost my respect, I've lost my business, I've lost everything. I've lost my license, I've lost my future. If I wanted to open another store or do anything, I can't do nothing because I'm tied down under conditions that I'm not even guilty of. So I just want to know, where do I stand? What have I done to deserve this? If I'm a bad person, honestly, I'm a good person. If you want to take it, I'm not gonna say okay, no. But right now it looks to me everybody's just not thinking that this person has done anything wrong or right. Everyone seems to be just saying, take the license, provoke the license, suspend the license. Fine. But give me a good reason. What have I done? Have I sold alcohol, drugs, prostitution, been sitting in the back of the shop drinking? Have I done anything to wrong in that premises that today I am being all these accusations just coming back to me? Nothing has been proven. Everything is just against me for no reason. People who did it, they always get away. The ones who don't do it are the ones that go guilty for nothing. I didn't even have to be this meeting. I could have surrendered my license, say, look, okay, I give up. But I came here because to stand for my right, because I did not do anything that I shouldn't have done in the premises. And my staff who done it, it could have happened anytime. It could have happened without me, with me being there, it could have happened. There's nothing else I could prevent stopping it. Only thing I can do is CCTV cameras or take more measurement, maybe put another staff on. Normally I have another person in that store. I have a female girl who lives next door in the flat. Sometimes she be around there as well. That day she went to visit a daughter, I don't know, a friend, or had a day off. She wasn't there. Otherwise, if she was there, maybe this incident wouldn't have took place. What else can I do? Put a security person there. I can fix this if there's anything I need to do to defend it for future. But I can't do nothing right now if all my hands are getting tied up. And the only thing I'm getting done is everything taken away from me. I just want this one more chance to prove the point. You can supervise me, check on me. You can check my books, my paperwork. And if there's anything else you want me to do, I am happy to comply with any of your conditions. You want to change the conditions, you can change it. I told you I've got a license 24 hours. I'm not opening shop 24 hours. I don't advertise outside on my signboard saying, look, this is an off license, come inside. I have no
Thank you,
signs
Mr.
to
Shahad. Thank you. I think it's a brief an opportunity for
Okay, that's fine.
closing submission.
Now-
So
yeah,
I think you've made
but
your
please
point.
reconsider and give me one last opportunity. I'm only asking everyone.
Thank you,
If-
Mr. Shahad.
Can appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. The members, the committee lawyer and the committee manager will now go into private session while the subcommittee makes its decision. We will rejoin this meeting, and when we do, we will announce the substantive decision of the subcommittee within the time limits. Thank you. Thank you everyone, and welcome back to Licensing Subcommittee A for the Selly Acre News. Some review. We have now made a decision that, having reviewed the premises licence held under the Licensing Act 2003 by Mohammed Shahzad in respect of Selly Acre News 1049 to 1051 Herschel Road, Sturchley, Birmingham B30 2YH, following an application made by West Midlands Police, this subcommittee hereby determines that 1. The license be revoked, and 2. Mohammed Shahzad be removed as the designated premises supervisor from the license, and 3. The sale of alcohol by retail be removed from the scope of license, and 4. All 3 of the interim steps imposed at the last meeting shall remain in place until the determination of any appeal. For reference, I note that the 3 interim steps imposed at the last meeting were the suspension of the licence, the removal of Mohammed Shahzad as designated premises supervisor from the licence, and the removal of the sale of alcohol by retail from the scope of the licence. Those interim steps shall remain in place. You will be notified of the full written decision of the subcommittee with the reasons within the time limit. Thank you. And thank you everyone for your attendance this morning.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, councillors.